And it was done in the 7th year, in the 5th month, in the 10th day of the month. Men of the elders of Israel came to ask the Lord, and they sat before me. And the word of the Lord was made to me. And he said, Son of man, speak thou to the elder men of Israel, and thou shalt say to them, The Lord God saith these things. Whether ye came to ask me, I live, for I shall not answer to you, saith the Lord God. Son of man, if thou deemest them, show thou to them the abominations of their fathers. And thou shalt say to them, The Lord God saith these things. In the day in which I chose Israel, and raised mine hand for the generation of the house of Jacob, and I appeared to them in the land of Egypt, and I raised mine hand for them, and I said, I am your Lord God. In that day I raised mine hand for them, that I should lead them out of the land of Egypt, into the land which I had purveyed for them, a land flowing with milk and honey, which is noble among all lands. And I said to them, Each man cast away the offenses of his eyes, and do not ye be defiled in the idols of Egypt. I am your Lord God. And they stirred me to wrath, and would not hear me. Each man casted me away the abominations of his eyes, and neither they forsook the idols of Egypt. And I said that I would shed out mine indignation on them, and fill my wrath in them in the midst of the land of Egypt. And I did for my name, that it should not be defiled before heathen men, in the midst of whom they were, and among whom I appeared to them, that I should lead them out of the land of Egypt. Therefore I casted them out of the land of Egypt, and I led them into desert. And I gave to them my commandments, and I showed to them my dooms, which a man shall do, and live in those. Furthermore, and I gave to them my Sabbaths, that it should be a sign betwixt me and them, and that they should know that I am the Lord, hallowing them. And the house of Israel stirred me to wrath in desert. They went not in my commandments, and they casted away my dooms, which a man that doeth shall live in those. And they defiled greatly my Sabbaths. Therefore I said that I would shut out my strong vengeance on them in desert, and waste them. And I did for my name, lest it were defiled before heathen men, from whom I casted them out in the sight of those. Therefore I raised mine hand on them in the desert, that I brought not them into the land which I gave to them, the land flowing with milk and honey, the best of all lands. For they casted away my dooms, and went not in my commandments, and they defiled my Sabbaths, for the heart of them went after idols. And mine eyes spared on them, that I killed not them, neither I wasted them in the desert. For sooth I said to the sons of them in the wilderness, Do know ye go in the commandments of your fathers, neither keep ye the dooms of them, neither be ye defiled in the idols of them. I am your Lord God. Go ye in my commandments, and keep ye my dooms, and do ye those, and hallow ye my Sabbaths, that it be a sign betwixt me and you, and that it be known that I am your Lord God. And the sons stirred me to wrath, and went not in my commandments, and kept not my dooms, that they did those, which when a man hath done, he shall live in those. And they defiled my Sabbaths. And I menaced to them that I would shed out my strong vengeance on them, and fill my wrath in them in the desert. But I turned away mine hand, and I did this for my name, that it were not defiled before heathen men, from which I casted them out before the eyes of those. Again, I raised mine hand against them in wilderness, that I should scatter them into nations, and winnow them into other lands, for that they had not done my dooms, and had reproved my commandments, and had defiled my Sabbaths, and their eyes had been longing after the idols of their fathers. Therefore, and I gave to them commandments not good, and dooms in which they shall not live, and I defiled them in their gifts, when they offered to me for their trespasses all thing that openeth the womb, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Wherefore speak thou, Son of man, to the house of Israel, and thou shalt say to them, The Lord God saith these things. Yet and in this your fathers blasphemed me, when they despising had forsaken me, and I had brought them into the land, on which I raised mine hand, that I should give it to them. And I saw each high little hill, and each tree full of boughs, and they offered there their sacrifices, and they gave there their offerings, into stirring me to wrath. And and they set there the odor of their sweetness, and they offered their moist sacrifices. And I said to them, what is the high thing to which ye enter? And the name thereof is called High Thing to this day. Therefore say thou to the house of Israel, the Lord God saith these things. Certainly ye be defiled in the way of your fathers, and ye do fornication after the offendings of them. And in the offering of your gifts, when ye led over your sons by fire, ye be defiled in all your idols till to today. And shall I answer to you, the house of Israel? I live, saith the Lord God, for I shall not answer to you. Neither the thought of your soul shall be done, that say, we shall be as heathen men, and as nations of earth, that we worship trees and stones. I live, saith the Lord God, for in strong hand, and in arm stretched forth, and in strong vengeance shed out, I shall rain on you, and I shall lead you out from peoples, and I shall gather you from lands in which ye be scattered. In strong hand, and in arm stretched forth, and in strong vengeance shed out, I shall rain on you. And I shall bring you into desert of peoples, and I shall be deemed there with you face to face. As I strived in doom against your fathers in the desert of the land of Egypt, so I shall deem you, saith the Lord. And I shall make you subject to my scepter, and I shall bring in you in the bonds of peace. And I shall choose of you trespassers and wicked men, and I shall lead them out of the land of their dwelling. They shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. And ye, the house of Israel, the Lord God saith these things. Go ye each man after your idols, and serve ye those. That, and if ye hear not me in this, and defile more mine holy name in your gifts, and in your idols, in mine holy hill, in the high hill of Israel, saith the Lord God, you shall be punished grievously. There the house of Israel shall serve me. Swiftly all men in the land, in which they shall please me. And there I shall seek your first fruits, and the beginning of your tithes and all your Halloweens. I shall receive you into odor of sweetness, when I shall lead you out of peoples, and shall gather you from lands in which ye were scattered. And I shall be hallowed in you before the eyes of the nations, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall bring you into the land of Israel, into the land for which I raised mine hand, that I should give it to your fathers. And ye shall have mine there on your ways, and on all your great trespasses, by which ye defiled in those. And ye shall displease you in your sight, in all your malices which ye did. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall do well to you for my name, not by your evil ways, neither by your worst trespasses, ye house of Israel, saith the Lord God. And the word of the Lord was made to me, and he said, Thou son of man, set thy face against the way of the south, and drop thou thy word to the south, and prophesy thou to the forest of midday field. And thou shalt say to the midday forest, Hear thou the word of the Lord. The Lord God saith these things. Lo, I shall kindle a fire in thee, and I shall burn in thee each green tree, and each dry tree. The flame of burning shall not be quenched, and each face shall be burnt therein, from the south till to the north. And each man shall see that I, the Lord, have kindled it, and shall not be quenched. And I said, Ah, Lord God, they say of me, whether this man speaketh not by parables.